fela ha rona re sebeletsa tjhelete ya rona ka thata. Ba bang ba rona ba etsa eng kapa eng ho atlehisa ditoro tsa rona, ho sa kgathalatsehe hore ho etsahalang. Qetellong, batho bana ba iphumana ba atlehile. Na ebe ba etsa sena jwang? Ke eng sephiri sa bona? Ke eng seo re ka ithutang ho tswa ho batho bana? Re tlo utlwa ka sena kajeno mona ho Rands with Sense. Ra le amohela ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le batlang ho kgothatsa hore o atlehe, mme o fumane tokoloho maemong a hao a tjhelete. Kajeno lena, re shebana le pale ya Adri Ford Adams. Adri ke motsamaisi wa Savant, e leng restaurante e itlhomang pele ka ho phehela mekete e fapaneng. Adri o ne a sa batle ho sebetsa fela lefapheng lena la dijo. Empa o ile a sebetsa ka thata haholo ho fumana tsebo le bokgoni ba ho iqalla kgwebo e leng ya hae. Adri ke motsamaisi wa restaurante e bitswang Savant, mane Somerset West.
Somerset West ke sebaka se theuweng ka 1822 polasing ya Kgwele. Ka mora nakwana, se ile sa bitswa Somerset ka mora Charles Henry Somerset. Sebaka sena ke lehae la Helderberg Nature Reserve, moo re fumanang lelomo la naha ya rona e leng Protea, hammoho le malomo a kang Fynbos. Toropo ena ke lehae la Lwandle Migrant Labour Museum, e leng museum e itlhomang pele ka ho lemisa batho ka history ya batho ba ileng ba siya malapa a bona ba ya sebetsa dibakeng tse itseng ka nako ya apartheid. Toropo ena e ratwa ke bahahlaudi haholo, mme e itlhoma pele ka dihotele le di-B&B, hobane e na le lewatle le dibaka tse ngata tsa boiketlo. Jwalo ka dibaka tse ngata mona naheng ya rona, Somerset le na le mathata a tlhoko ya mesebetsi. Empa le ha ho le jwalo, ke moo re teaneng le Adri Ford hore tsamaya le kgwebo ya dijo. Ha re teaneng le yena.
How you doing?
I'm good, Toka. How are you?
Nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Could you please walk us through who Adri is?
Well, I was born and raised in Stellenbosch. Went to school, and from a young age, I knew I had a passion for cooking and I had a passion for entertaining people. So after school, I went and studied culinary arts at City and Guilds in Cape Town. And I was in the industry in South Africa for a while, and I quickly realized that I really wanted to do my own thing. Went overseas for 5 years, and that's where I really fell into my passion for mixology and the chefing side of things. And I wanted to combine my cooking with mixing drinks and entertaining people. And that's when I decided that Savant had to be born. I felt that there was a gap in the industry in South Africa. And after picking up so much knowledge in the States and competing internationally, I thought the best way was to come home and share the knowledge and educate people in South Africa about what I can do and what we can do back here at home, and just grow the industry as a whole.
Please tell us what a mixologist is, because most of us don't know what it really means. We just know that it's a bartender mixing drinks and then I'm good.
You're on the right track, but we're basically a glorified bartender, but it's more the creating of the cocktail that we're interested in. So a lot of people know the basic drinks, Sex on the Beach, Long Island iced teas. What we do as a mixologist, we take strange and weird ingredients and we bring that into the cocktail environment. There's sometimes a bit of science involved as well in what we do, so sometimes it gets a bit weird and wacky. And I feel that's where the culinary expertise came in, because it's all about knowing flavors and which flavors will work together. So if you want to taste something new and different, you come to us.
Growing up, who were your biggest influences when it comes to cooking and your passion for cooking? Who were the forerunners in your family?
It definitely started at home. I come from a family of cooks and people who love to be in the kitchen and creating new meals, and a lot of competition in the household as well. The biggest one would be my grandfather. So many fond memories of him in the kitchen cooking, and my mom as well. Everybody's mom's the the most favorite cook. And I also have an uncle who's a chef, and it's still debatable, who's the best one in the family. But I feel it definitely started at home, and if I didn't have that passion from my family growing up for food, I wouldn't be in this industry to start with.
Tell me about your family dynamics growing up. How many people in the house,
Sure.
other siblings, and how was it?
So I'm the youngest of three. I have an older brother and an older sister. It was really tough being the youngest growing up. If you ask my brother and sister, they'll tell you that I was a bit spoiled. I feel I got the worst of it though. There'll always be a debate about it. But yeah, my parents were always amazing. I come from a very supportive family. Not only my immediate household, but my extended family as well. Normal brother-sisterly arguments all the time. But yeah, we are a close family and we loved each other. And I feel that also played a big role in, that support structure, in knowing if you want to go out and do something and having a family that supports you. It just makes it so much easier.
She was actually, Adri, as a child, I would say, always inventive. She was always the entrepreneur since she was young. I remember we come from a small town, Ceres. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but we used to bring fruit and juices from there, and it was supposed to go to family members, and she will make up little packages and go in the street and start selling it for pocket money. So coming from a family that loves to cook, when she got to the age where she made the decision to become a chef and to cook, we said go for it, and we stood behind her in all her decisions.
What was your first job that you got when you left school?
So when I left culinary school, I was a trainee chef at 2 restaurants in Cape Town, Balthazar and Balducci's. And it was very tough because you're a youngster and you've got all this passion and you just want to get into the kitchen and cook. And then being told no. I heard no a lot growing up, and I heard no a lot in the culinary environments where I was. And it was tough, doing a lot of stuff that you didn't want to do. There was a lot of pots that had to be scrubbed, a lot of cleaning. Most days was just cleaning and not even in front of the pots, But after a couple of months, you earn the trust of your chef, and then you can do little things like peeling a potato, which is quite intense because you're so afraid you're going to mess it up. But it was a great working environment, and I have very fond memories of those two places.
Like you just said that you heard no a lot growing up.
Yeah.
What kept you going and not taking that no as defeat?
You know what? I feel it's just the type of person I am. If I look at my parents, they also heard no a lot growing up. They grew up in the apartheid years, they fought for equal rights for everybody, and that we grew up with these stories, And I feel their passion for not taking no as an answer carried over to me also not taking no. Totally different environments though, different things, but I feel it makes me a stronger person. I know what I want in life, and I know what I'm capable of. And there's things that I can't do, but then you learn, or you find somebody to teach you, and you better yourself. And if you're not going to do it for yourself, nobody is. So you really need to get out there and put your mind to it and just do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Adri o ile a tlameha ho ithuta dintho tse ngata lefapheng la dijo le ho pheha pele a ka iqalla kgwebo ya hae.
What drove you to leave South Africa? Why didn't you just settle for working in any restaurant?
You know what? I think in my mind, when I wanted to be a chef, I thought that a chef is you go into the kitchen and just create, And in the culinary world, when you're starting out, that's not how it is. You start at the bottom. There's a lot of peeling of potatoes and chopping onions for a very long time. And I felt that I didn't just want to be stuck into that. I had a lot of ideas, which I wasn't in an environment where I could actually, go out there and just do my own thing. And unfortunately, the best thing for me was to leave. And it was a great thing for me. I learned so much overseas, and it gave me that little stepping stone to be able to come back and teach people new things.
When you decided to move from South Africa, was the risk worth it at the time? Or was it there a point in your life, maybe a year later, saying, oh snap, what am I doing here? I should have stayed at home. Did you ever go through those feelings?
There was a lot of feelings and emotions when I first left. Most of it was excitement, wanted to go, wanted to see the world, wanted to travel. It was a new experience. I'm always up for new experiences. But after a year or two, you start missing home. I mean, you miss weddings and anniversaries, and you miss your family, Christmas, you know, you miss everything. There was a lot of times when I was crying a lot, wanting to come home in my mid-20s and still crying on the phone to mom, I want to come home. But I stuck it out. You know, sometimes you need to go through the tough times to get to the good parts afterwards, and I'm happy I did. And my family was always there on the other side of the phone supporting me and saying, you know what, stick it out, you know why you're doing it, it's going to be worth it at the end. And it really was. If I didn't stick it out, I wouldn't be here today, so.
Definitely. You spoke about starting from the bottom in South Africa. How was starting from the bottom abroad, where you're South African and they don't really care about who you are?
You know what, starting at the bottom in the States was okay. I worked for a great company, which always saw potential in the employees, so it didn't take that long to work myself up. And I'm a hard worker, and luckily I had a great management team and a great boss who really saw potential in not only me, but everybody that worked for the company. So it really wasn't tough at all. It was a great experience. I loved every minute of it.
Adri o ile a tlameha ho ithuta dintho tse ngata pele a ka iqalla kgwebo ena ya hae. Ha re kgutla papatsong, re tla utlwa ha batsi ka sena. Re le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le o tlisetsang ba letsa batho ba sa tshabeng ho lwanela ho fumana tokoloho maemong a bona a tjhelete. Kajeno, re etetse Adri Ford Adams, makgwebo wa mona Afrika Borwa ya nang le kgwebo ya dijo, mme re utlwa hore o tsamaisa kgwebo ena ya hae jwang.
Financially, how did you survive, like moving from our currency and having to live abroad, knowing that you're gonna start from the bottom because you didn't know how long or how quick you were gonna get to your success? So how were your finances? Like, how did it impact on your finances?
You know what, a lot of people will say, oh, you were working in the States, dollars, you know, making a lot of money, but everything's different there. So it was a lot of planning. You know, every little cent was kept and turned around into what we can do with it. But yeah, I feel that if people going to another country, you really need to prepare yourself for their currency, what their expenses are on a monthly basis, you know. And I feel I did my homework well enough and it paid out for me. But if I could give anybody advice, is research first. Don't just buy a plane ticket and jump on a plane and go. You got to know what you're getting yourself into, and you don't want to be stuck in a foreign country with no money. It's a bad idea. So yeah, just prepare yourself, do a bit of research, find out from friends, family, co-workers who's ever done it before, and just get enough information before you go.
Sure. Please walk us through your first job that you got in the States when you moved from here.
So my first job, I was a bar waiter, not even a bartender. And it was literally a cocktail waitress walking around with a tray of drinks and hoping that your smile will convince people to buy it, which was, I think, the toughest job that I did, because you had no control over your clients. You just had to walk around with a tray of drinks and hope and pray for the best. But that didn't last long. It was just a few months, and then I got promoted to bartender, and a few months later, mixologist, and that's where it all actually took off for me.
So we hear that, yeah, you're number 15 in the world.
I was.
Sure.
I was, yes.
Sure. Please tell us about that. Yeah.
So when I was working for my one company overseas, my boss asked me, hey, do you want to compete in this competition? And it was an international cruise competition, so it was all bartenders across the world on cruise ships that could compete. And it had to do with mixology, so you had to create a new drink and explain where your inspiration came from it and take everybody through the process from beginning to end, how you develop the drink. And I developed my first drink, entered it, and the next thing I knew, we got news that I won, which was great. We went to Miami for an awards ceremony, and the next year, my boss said, you want to do it again? And I was like, why not? Nobody wins these things twice in a row. And I competed again and I won. The first time around, I was the first female winner in the history of the competition. Second time around was the first female winner and the first back-to-back winner.
My name is Eddie Allen. I'm the Vice President of Beverage for Carnival Cruise Lines. We're really excited to be here with Bacardi at Tales of the Cocktail and Miss Adri Ford, the two-time Bacardi Cruise Competition winner.
I'm here at Tales of the Cocktail this year to meet up with new mixologists, see what's in and happening on the cocktail scene, going to seminars, tasting great cocktails, and having an amazing time. My name is Adri Ford, and I'm a master mixologist on Carnival Cruise Lines. I was born and raised in South Africa, and coming to the cruise ships, it was really interesting to see how so many different cultures come together, and the cocktails that we can create. It's very exciting that they would actually continue to foresee me being a better bartender or mixologist.
This is the cocktail convention for the world. Nowhere else can you find this group of talented mixologists and bartenders and liquor companies anywhere else in one gathering in beautiful New Orleans in the middle of hot July.
As my week here comes to a close at the Tales of the Cocktails, it was so great in all the events that we've experienced here this week, from the Grey Goose party to the Bombay parties last night to meeting the distiller, I have to say, which was so exciting, taking a lead in the industry and inspiring everybody here at Cocktails this week. Since winning the BCC competition 2 years in a row, my life has changed dramatically. There's no way I would have been able to have the opportunity to be here today to represent the cruise industry, to present my country. Here we are representing, very happy.
It's such an honor to be here and just to experience it. I just can't wait to get back and take with me all the information I've got and to elevate myself for later in my life.
Adri ke motsamaisi wa restaurant e bitswang Savant, mane Somerset West. Kgwebo ena ya hae e pheha dijo ka tsela e sa tlwaelehang, mme e phomosetsa mekete e mengata. Ha ho tlweng ho tswa ho Adri ka kgwebo ena ya hae.
When you came back to South Africa, you started your own company. Can you please tell us about that transition of moving back to South Africa from the States?
That was tough. That was even tougher than going to the States. I feel for me, because I was out of the country for so long, I had no credit record in South Africa. I had no debt. All my money was overseas. And I thought when you come back and you have money, you can just buy property and buy things. And unfortunately in South Africa, that's not how it works. It broke my heart knowing that I can't. It was tough for me to start my company because I had no debt. And I thought I was doing it the right way by saving up for 5 years to come back and do it the right way. So that was the most difficult part, was jumping through a lot of hoops and a lot of red tape to get to where I am today.
Like, walk us through that whole process. How was it? What were the things that were required from you? Because I know you spoke about a credit record that you need to build up.
The hardest thing was having to just go out and make debt. Debt is my worst enemy. I hate debt. And in South Africa, you can't get a business loan or buy property or even just rent a property. This was the hardest thing, to get a place to live. I had to move back in with my parents, which was the strangest thing for a few months, because I just couldn't get anything on my name before I got, a credit record or debt, as you put it. But once I sorted all of that out, things started flowing a little bit easier. So it's still a process. It's still a process. There's still a little bit of red tape that I'm having to jump through, but my company is only a few months old.
Yeah. Tell me about starting Savant and some of the pitfalls that you had to go through in order to get it off the ground and people actually accepting it in the industry. How was that?
It's really difficult. Like you said, the food and beverage industry in South Africa is very competitive. And being a newcomer, coming from another country and then wanting to start something new is really tough. It probably would have been a little bit easier had I already been in South Africa and already worked for a couple of companies where maybe people already knew who I was. But very tough. I mean, we started with the local markets in around the area, Slow Market, Blauwklippen, Biscuit Mall, where we still are. And you think you just send somebody an email and, hey, can I be at your market? No, it took months, and they research you too. They were calling friends and new friends to find out, who is this new person? Where did this person come from? And it was breaking my heart the first few couple of months, because I couldn't get in anyway. People didn't know who I was, and people are very resilient to give you a shot if they don't know who you are. But I had a few great people open up some doors for me, and yeah, we're running 3 markets at the moment. We do private events. We're getting into the corporate events right now, so slowly but surely we're getting there.
Did you ever at some point while you were going through those challenges, did you ever at some point think, okay, screw this, let me get a job?
You know what? I still have days where I feel that way.
Yeah.
People think it's an easy thing having your own business. It's not. It's the hardest thing, because you can't blame anybody when something goes wrong. If something doesn't get done, it's your fault.
Yeah.
If you don't make the money, it's your fault. If you didn't do the marketing or the research, it's your fault. Nobody else is to blame. So it's a lot of frustration with yourself when things go wrong because you know it's your fault. But yeah, sometimes there's good days, and there's still days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, but why is this so tough? But you know what? I know why I'm doing it, and it's not going to come easy. Nothing worth doing comes easy. So I'm in it for the long run.
Sure. How important is it, like since you're starting out and it's a small company, how important are the people that you employ and the team that you have around?
My team is extremely important. Because I'm a creative person, I need to have creative people around me, and our personalities really do need to match. So you have to match the personality, but then you also have to match the skill for that specific person to do their job properly. I only have a team of 6. We're a small team, we're a tight team, but it works for us. But yeah, the process of deciding who works for me is very intense because what we do is very creative and it's personal to me. Everything I do in my business is personal, from meeting with a client to creating an event to just having a market. It's part of me, it's part of my soul that I'm giving out to my clients. And I need people who work for me to have that same passion. And if you've got that passion, you might not have the skill, I can teach you the skill. But if you've got the passion, then we set.
Yeah. You spoke about it was hard for you to get into markets or to get clientele. How hard is it to get, actually, because you do corporate events as well?
We're getting into corporate events. We're not quite there yet.
Sure. But how hard is it to do private functions and get bookings for that?
The private functions, the first one I did actually came within the first month. We were at a market and a lady really liked the food, and it was her daughter's birthday coming up, and she just asked, hey, do you guys do private events? And I was like, of course. Of course we do.
Opportunity.
Not going to say no to this. And we did the first one, and word of mouth travels. It really does. And after that, I realized, you know what? Because I was holding myself back. I didn't think I was ready to take on bigger events. But you just needed a bit of confidence and that 1 or 2 people who believed in you. And that's where it started. And now we do quite a few parties, especially birthday parties, bachelorette parties, which is our favorite. And yeah, we like doing private things for people. We do some cooking classes as well and mixology classes, which is a great thing for a bunch of friends, and we like going to people's homes to do these things. We want people to be comfortable and want them to feel that we're part of the family coming in.
Ka mora papatso, Adri o re phetela ha batsi ka kgwebo ena ya hae le mekete eo a e phehelang. O shebelletse Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le bontshang ma-Afrika Borwa dipale tsa batho ba etsang dintho tse ntle mona naheng ya rona. Kajeno re shebana le pale ya Adri Ford Adams. Mme re utlwa hore ho jwang ho ba motsamaisi wa kgwebo e atlehileng ya dijo.
So I started Savant last year in August, or I registered the business last year in August. And when we got into our first market about a month later, we got very lucky that we got approached by a TV show to compete in an entrepreneurial competition on another channel, which I feel is a lot of where the success for my business came from. I was very lucky to, as I started it, being on TV for 13 weeks. I think it really propelled the business into people knowing about the brand and recognizing the brand when they go out or they're at a local market, or when they see the van driving around, they're like, oh wait, we saw that on TV. So I was very, very lucky. But you can't always run on luck, So the hard work came after doing the show. and really putting in time and effort and getting clients and grafting and putting time and effort into everything that we do. So it's not been easy. Like I said earlier, owning a business isn't easy. It's the biggest heartache, but the best payout at the end of the day, because you can look at it and see that this is you. Everything about it is who you are, and it's all your time and your energy and your passion. It's my baby, you know. I take care of it. It's basically taken over my entire life.
So tell me, man, like, how good are you at separating your business finances to your personal finances?
When I applied for the grant from SAB with Fitola, this is one of the things that they've been helping me with the last few months that we've been in the program a lot. My mentor, Anton, is just amazing, and we just did a costing and pricing workshop a couple of weeks ago. So it is still a learning curve for me. Before starting with Fitola, I had one bank account.
Sure.
And everything went in and everything came out, and I thought I was doing a great job. But eventually I realized things need to be separated. So that's when small things that I didn't think about, that I didn't think the business was ready for,
Sure.
you know, is to open up a business bank account, you know, and keep things separate, file every invoice, you know, keep everything on record. The beginning, I would just buy something, take the receipt in the bin, you know.
Sure, yeah.
Now, everything, there's like filing systems, you know, up to place. Like every single thing has to be filed. Everything you need to know where the money is being spent, because it's at $20 here or $50 there. At the end of the month, it all adds up. And then you're looking at your books and you're like, where did the money go?
Yeah.
So you really need to be responsible and very diligent in managing your books.
And as an entrepreneur, when it comes to your own personal finances, how do they affect your business finances or vice versa?
You know what, I feel, and my mentor also told me that I put everything into my business, and you need to separate the two. You can't just keep on pumping everything in. For the first couple of months, I didn't even pay myself. I just wanted to make sure my staff was paid and the suppliers are paid and everything's taken care of. And it was a big realization that to figure out that you need to pay yourself as well. You know, you can't just keep on putting in. And it's a fine line to know, you know, where to stop, because you've got so much passion and you want to make it work. But when there's a bad month, you can't always be like, it's okay, I'll just take some of my money and put it in. You can't, because the business has to go through the ups and downs, and otherwise you're never going to learn where you're making the mistakes if you just keep on taking your own money and pumping it in.
What are your current most biggest challenges?
I feel my biggest challenge right now is that we're growing too fast for the capital to keep up with. We being approached by a lot of different companies to be doing a lot of things, and it's bigger than what we can currently handle because we don't have commercial space. So the biggest challenge right now is getting a commercial space, and I feel once we get there, then it's gonna fly.
Sure. Because you said you do a lot of markets and you do like private functions and parties, I can fathom that your monthly income fluctuates from
It
month
really
to month.
does.
So how do you manage to actually keep your business afloat and your own personal life afloat as well with the fluctuating?
You know, it's very challenging. Like, we just came out of winter now, which was a very tough winter, because a lot of the stuff we do sometimes is weather dependent. So winter was quite tough. And you can go from 1 month where you have 2 private parties, and at the end of the month you're looking at the books and you're like, oh, you know, and you always have to put away because you never know what the next month is going to bring. Then the next month you have like 13, 14, you know. But when the good times come, you can't be balling.
Sure.
Okay, you really need to hold back and keep your money tight, because you never know month to month until we're in a position where we're booked out for several months in advance and you can really see where your money's coming from. But right now it's like month to month, and you really need to manage your finance as well, especially when you're just starting out and you don't know where the next paycheck is going to come from.
It was really nice meeting you and getting to know more about you, and we wish you well in all your endeavors in your business.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, ma'am.
Adri ke motho ya kgotshetseng haholo, mme o rata seo a se etsang. Ho tloha bonyaneng ba hae, e sale e le motho ya ratang ho pheha. Mme lerato lena la hae la dijo ile la mo lebisa mane mose le mawatle. Empa pele ho mono, o ile a tlameha ho sebetsa di-restauranteng tse fapaneng mona naheng ya rona hore a tsebe ho hodisa thuto ya hae. Ditoro tsa hae di ne di mo hlobaetse, mme ka mora nakwana o ile a fumana mosebetsi mane mose ho mawatle, moo a ileng a fihla le teng a sebetsa ka thata ho netefatsa ho iketsetsa lebitso naheng e sele. ho kgutla wa hae naheng ya rona o ne a batla ho ithehela kgwebo e leng ya hae, empa o ile a tena le mathata a itseng ka lebaka la hore o ne a tlameha ho phamisa lebitso la hae ho ya ka National Credit Act ya rona, mme sena se ile sa bolela hore ha a kgone ho ngodisa kgwebo ya hae le ho fumana le bodulo, empa seno ha sa ka sa mo sitisa ho tlisa ditoro tsa hae. Sena se re bontsha hore ha o ikemiseditse ho tlisa ditoro tsa hao bophelong, ha o letho le ka o sitisang.
Ra le amohela hape ho Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le o tlisetsang baletsa batho ba sa tshabeng ho lwanela ho fumana tokoloho maemong a bona a tjhelete. Kajeno, re tsamaye le Adri ho bona hore o tsamaisa kgwebo ya hae jwang.
So my name is Liam Waskus from Tsonga and Ndebele, and we've been supplying Savant for probably about 8 months or so with our homemade tortillas. They come and take a couple of packets of wraps every week. Varies obviously, depends on how busy they've been, but yeah. Food industry is very tough in that everybody eats, so people expect a lot more than what most people bargain on. So you've got a quality of your product, quality of your service, obviously key aspects of any business, and the personality that the general public have to deal with. If you don't have the right personality, it's not going to happen. Incredible lady, very bubbly, very vivacious, stunning girl.
My birth name is Anga, surname Ponongo. Basically, I'm from Yakaimandi. Basically, what we do is we supply veggies to restaurants and to basically households as well. It's a new business that I started, and we also have a very mini market in the township whereby people come and buy veg, but people who buy in bulk, we transport veg to their homes, which is something kind of new that we do. But our main market is supplying vegetables to restaurants within Stellenbosch and outside of Stellenbosch. We met Adri at SAB Foundation. I didn't meet her, but my partner Tulani met her because this is the one that first went to the workshop. And that's when everyone was networking, everyone was showing what everyone does. So then Tulani found out Adri is also from this side, and basically she needs our services and we can then help her supply you with veggies. Adri is a very great person and very understanding person, very flexible as well, because we're still a small business, we're still growing, still learning. We'll supply her every week, so every Friday she'll ask us to go drop it off at a place, and then she'll just then make payment in return. We wish Adri very well in the business because she cooks very good food, and when she does well, we do well as well, because when she grows, she orders more food from us or more veggies from us, and then we grow as well in terms of orders and obviously in terms of numbers as well. The lessons that I learned from Adri is a very honest person. I think sometimes she's too honest, but she's a very honest person, and sometimes in the business world it's kind of hard to be honest. She's very honest. That's like, Bones, this thing is not right. I want another one. Then instead of her telling us, no guys, I don't think this, she will tell us and she'll be straightforward, and that's where we know. So I've learned honesty from Adri. I've also learned that she's a very, with the time that I've worked with her, very punctual in the time. So if she asks us to be there at 12 and we're not there, then she's busy with somewhere else. So I think then it has helped us a lot as well to be punctual in our time. So I've learned punctuality and I've learned honesty from her in the business world.
Ho fihlela ha jwale, kgwebo ya Adri e ntse e tsamaya hantle. Re tswela pele ka pale ena ya hae. O shebelletse Rands with Sense. Lenaneo le shebanang le tsela le dintho tse ngata tseo ma-Afrika Borwa a ka di etsang ho atlehisa toro tsa bona. Kajeno, re etela Adri Ford Adams, motsamaisi wa Savant.
O la iphumanela setsebi se mo tataisang, mme ba kopana ka mehla le matsatsi ha re boneng hore ho etsahetseng kopanong ya bona ya kajeno.
Hi, Adri.
Hi, Anton, how are you?
All right, thanks, and you?
Good, thank you.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we last met. One of the things we discussed last time was a proposal to a potential site where you were going to look at setting up a sort of semi-permanent operation for your business. Maybe you can start by telling me the status of that.
So we did do a proposal for Waterworld last week. This is just a rough cut of what it looked like.
Looks great.
Thank you. Took quite a couple of hours. You know, I'm not quite the big boffin on the laptop, but
Very professional.
tried my best.
I think it's important that people realize that when you go into a meeting of this nature that you actually do some preparation.
Yeah.
You make an effort and you show that you've actually put in some time. Obviously increases your chances of a good outcome.
Yeah, and we also did a lot of research on how many customers they get, what their turnover is, because the agreement that they wanted to go on was that we do pay them. I remember that was one of the things that we discussed. And I did decide that we would pay them a flat fee, but I took the average of my other markets that I usually do,
Yes.
and I halved it.
Okay.
Because it is a risk that I'm doing and it's only a 6-week period. And that is the number that we went in. And also in the contract attached to this, we did say after the 6-week trial that we can revisit all of the payment agreements on that.
Okay. So at the moment, the proposal on the table is that you, excuse me, you set up a sort of semi-permanent Savant
Yes.
kiosk for 6 weeks, and you pay them a flat fee for the space.
Yes.
And then you reassess thereafter how viable it is for you.
Me and for them as well.
Sure. Okay. And are they happy with that?
I just got an email from them this morning that they will have the decision to me by tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. So of course, one of the things we've been working on is looking at ways to bolster your income when it's quiet at the market. So, you know, the winter months traditionally being quieter, you need alternative sources of revenue. Have you managed to get anything going on that score?
I have actually. It's quite exciting. So one of the things that I really want to do is go into consulting restaurants and bars on better service delivery. And there was an ad for a gentleman who was looking for somebody to come in and do hospitality training for his staff at Old McDaddy's, which is a venue in Elgin, where they do team building. It's also a lodge where they have these beautiful Airstream caravans that they imported from the States, that they individualize each one of them as like a little mini hotel room, which is absolutely beautiful. They also partners with Daddy's Deals and the Granddaddy Hotel in Cape Town. And I spoke to him this week, and I'm busy with a proposal for them to start training the hospitality staff. Just to give you a reason why they're looking for somebody to do training now, they used to, the restaurant and bar was on their premises, but it wasn't owned and run by them. So they just took it over 2 weeks ago, and most of their complaints is coming from the restaurant and the bar, which is where my speciality is. So he's looking at somebody to come in and do a total revamp on the training for the bar and restaurant staff, as well as the management team within the restaurant, which is a new team, which I'm very excited about. It's not a big budget. It's only 17,000 that he's giving me to work with. And that will include me coming and being a mystery guest for a few days, staying there, seeing where they can improve, and on what fields they should improve, not only in the restaurant and bar, but that would be the 90% focus. But he also wants me to look at the housekeeping team, maintenance team, and reception team as well.
Fantastic.
So I'm very excited. And also, they are expanding next year. They're going to, by end of next year, they'll have triple capacity as what they have now. So I did talk about having the option to come in and do continuous training for the new staff, because they're going to have to get in a lot new staff as the year continues. And also because most trainings happen in winter time, when it's the quiet time, that would actually boost my income. And then also the possibility, if that goes well, to go into other aspects of their businesses, like Daddy's Deals and the Granddaddy Hotel and the Daddy's Adventures that they do as well. So very excited, working on a proposal for that one.
Well, if you need some help on that.
Yes, Waterworld, I feel I did quite a good job.
Yeah.
But this is it's not a big budget, but the potential that can flow from this is huge.
One of the primary challenges for entrepreneurs is sort of how do you replicate yourself? How do you essentially make money while you sleep? In a sense that you don't physically have to be there or be doing the work, but you can still be generating income for your business. And I think that what you've done with your staff, in terms of really focusing on upskilling them and training them and almost replicating yourself in a way through your staff, is going to allow your business to explore these growth opportunities in the future. I think that Adri has learned some interesting lessons this year, particularly around managing her own growth. She has realized that she can't do everything in the business, and trying to do so is just going to hold the business back. So being presented with a number of opportunities for growth. For example, there's her markets, there's catering, there's now potentially a semi-permanent site. There's also the consulting element and training. So a lot of good things are happening, a lot of things are sort of bubbling. And she's realized that the only way she's going to be able to take advantage of these opportunities is by making sure that her staff are sufficiently trained and sufficiently genuinely empowered to actually get on with things themselves, and they don't require micromanagement 24/7. So for me, that's been a really great thing to see as her mentor over the past sort of 6 to 12 months, how far she's come in terms of management skills, in terms of delegating, in terms of being conscious that the best way that she can grow as a business is by letting the people underneath her grow as well. So that makes me quite confident that Adri is going to see a lot of growth in 2017.
So my relationship with Fetola started a few months ago when I applied for a grant from the SAB Foundation, and I was accepted into the program, which is a 2-year program with Fetola. And it's very exciting because they point out different aspects in your business where you could be doing better. And being a small business owner, we have our own strengths, but we also have weaknesses. And it's very refreshing to have a different perspective from people coming in and saying, this is what you're doing right, but we need to be focusing on this. So it's very helpful, and they've been helping us so much through this process of building the business, being in the beginning phase. And I wouldn't have been able to do this without them. I feel how Fetola turned my business around from where it was before I started with them to where I am now is quite dramatic, actually. When we started, there was no financial systems in place, no SOPs. It was basically a daily grind from one day to the next. And now having those systems in place, having the right documentation, being a certified business, registered as a business, all these things that make you feel that you are a real business and not just doing something on the side, it really makes you feel proud about what you're doing. And without their help, it would have taken me a much longer time to get to where I am right now. I think when somebody starts a business, you really need to know your money, which is a mistake I made from the beginning. But with Fetola's help, luckily, because we such a young business, we could actually go back and fix all the problems that we made. You need to know how much money you have, how much capital you have to spend, and you need to have a plan. You need to know from month to month in the beginning phases how much money you're going to need and how much money you're going to have to spend before you can make money. Also, I feel you really need to know your market. A lot of times we have these great ideas, and it might be a great idea to you, or you might see a gap in the market, but you need to do your research. You need to make sure that there's actually a gap for other people who would want this product or this service. And I feel if you combine those two, you have a winning recipe. My hopes and my dreams for my future is encompassed with my business and my personal life, because right now my business is my life. This is what I'm putting all my focus on. All finances is going into it because I really believe in my product and my service, and I really believe that there's a gap in the South African market for what Savant has to offer. So I believe that we're going to be big. It's going to take time, and we need to be patient, which is sometimes a little bit difficult in business. But I believe that if we follow the guidelines of Fetola and my mentor Anton and really focus on what is needed in the business and continue doing what we're doing right now, Savant has a very bright future in South Africa. I see Savant as a booming business in 5 years. Right now, we are doing our catering for private and corporate events. We also have our markets. We also just accessed the field into training in the hospitality industry, which is huge for us. And the next step within the next 5 years is having our own restaurant premises in the Western Cape. And that is the goal, that is where we want to be. And from that hub, we can extend into many different factors in the hospitality industry. If I can give any advice for anybody who wants to start your own business, is do it. There's a lot of people, I was going to tell you, it's not worth it, it's too big of a risk, get a normal job, get a 9 to 5. But if you've got that passion, if there's a few people in the world that really has that urge to go out and do their own thing and make a difference. And if you've got that, don't let anybody tell you you can't. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be financial strains. There's going to be strains on your family, not seeing everybody when there's family gatherings because you might have to work. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. To follow your dream and to see your dream become a reality is something nobody will ever be able to take away from you. So do it.
Leeto la rona le Adri le fella mona. Re tshepa go ithutile ho ngata ho tswa ho pale ena ya hae e kgothatsang. Ke nna Toka Hlongwane ya neng le tlisetsa ditsela le metjha e meng ya ho etsa Rands with sense. Salang hantle.
Re se re fihlile qetellong ya lenaneho la rona la kajeno. Re tla le bona hape bekeng e tlang. Ha re tswela pele ho le tlisetsa ditsela tsa ho etsa Rands with sense. Ke nna Mmarona Kgwele. Salang hantle.